contact pilot maintain.
Good evening and welcome to the January 2026 transmission of Galactic Terrors, the online reading series that scours the known universe for scary stories, strange tales, weird horror, and all sorts of literary oddities from the most imaginative authors writing in a variety of fascinating genres. I am James Chambers, and with me is co-host Carol Gyzander.
Hello, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Carol. I feel like we're going to be sitting here in like December 2026 going, wait a minute, weren't we just doing Happy New Year wishes in January? That's how 2025 seemed to go.
Yes, and I'm happy to kick it out the back door, frankly. So yeah, glad to be in 2026.
Well, we've got a special broadcast tonight rather than our usual format of having some authors come on to read their work and answer questions with us. We have recruited a rowdy bunch of horror aficionados and experts from the Horror Writers Association New York chapter to come on and talk about that 2025 year that we're giving the bums rush out the door.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear what everybody's thoughts were of what their favorite things were from the year,
But if you're here, thank you for joining us. If you're new to Galactic Terrors, please click subscribe below to follow our future transmissions. If you are a returning audience member, we appreciate having you back. We feel that we have probably sufficiently mesmerized you at this point. The world-dominating subliminal instructions will be starting next month.
Yes, indeed. And for those who are watching on recording, we're delighted to have you review this again at some point in the near future. So, yay.
All right. And you can look for us the second Thursday of the month every month, except for those few months where we change the date for various reasons. And if you want to keep up on all those fast moving date changes, which really are slow moving and rare, you can sign up for our awesome newsletter, the Galactic Terrors newsletter.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Right.
Cool. So I'm kind of amused, Jim, that we're coming right into 2026 here, but there's already a bunch of events lined up. Right?
Yes.
There's some cool things coming.
It's not getting off to a slow start.
No. The first one coming up is something that we've mentioned before. That's the My Bloody Valentine horror book sale event that's coming in Port Jervis on February 7th. And there's a bunch of New York chapter authors who are going to be participating in this event. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. So for
I am
those
too.
Yeah. Those in the East Coast area, swing on by.
This is a new event, right? This is their, they've done other events, but this is the first My Bloody Valentine. So I put the link to their Facebook event page, which seems to be the main source of info on this. Yeah. In the chat. So feel free to check that out. And hopefully we'll see some of you in Port Jervis. I know some of the folks that are on tonight will be there. So we'll probably ask them to tell us what they're going to be bringing.
Yeah. That's going to be cool. What else is coming up? Let's see.
Well, then at the end of February, we've got the Long Island Convention of Horror, also
Lich.
Yeah. And I'm going to throw that link up in the chat as well. And I know there's a website in the works for Lich, but for the moment, they're still operating mostly off of Facebook as well. So you can find out info about the event there. This is the second annual Lich event. And Carol and I and many of the other New York chapter members were at the first one last year and had a great time hanging out there. And I think several of our members will be back. And one of our members who's with us tonight is a guest of honor this year.
Yes, indeed. And the thing I liked about the event is that it's not just books. I love books, don't get me wrong, but this had a lot of different types of media, just kind of like what we're doing tonight to talk about different things, books and movies, and maybe even some TV shows. So, it's a really fun event with, panels and programming and readings and famous peoples and books and all sorts of really cool horror merchandise. And it's all horror too.
All horror. Yes.
Yeah. All horror all the time. Yeah.
And
Also Stoker. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think this month is a special literary commemorative month, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. International Gothic Reading Month, otherwise known as IGRM. But that's sponsored by the Society for the Study of the American Gothic. And they have some interesting programs going on and some ways that you can get involved with reading more Gothic horror and more Gothic books, such like that. So I think that's a really fun idea. It's kind of fun.
They have a legit website, AmericanGothicSociety.com.
Yes. And then here's the thing that we mention all the time. StokerCon is coming up. It's coming up in June in Pittsburgh. And I'm really looking forward to that, as I do every year. I have to say, I go to a lot of conventions, but Stoker is my favorite. And I'm not just trying to make nice to Jim, who's one of the people who organizes a lot of the vaccine stuff for Stoker, and Brian, who's on our call as well here. But I just love the convention. So any words to share about it, Jim?
Yeah, I hope to see a whole lot of people there. We'd love to see new faces. If you have never gone to StokerCon, we really encourage you to check it out. We always like to have fresh blood, so to speak. And we've got a great lineup of guests of honor this year. John Shirley, Billy Martin, Ann Vandermeer, Rachel Harrison, and Linda Addison. And it's going to be quite an event. And I think one of our members on this call tonight is a crucial part of my favorite StokerCon programming, Final Frame Film Competition. So,
Yay, Jonathan. Yeah.
So, and James Tinian. Yes, I knew. That's my curse. Is I always forget one of the guests. So Brian thankfully reminded me in the chat that James Tinian will be one of our guests of honor. We're really excited about that.
Oh, awesome! And we also have a link for the ticketing for Lich that I just put into the chat. So thank you for Amy Grech for pulling that up for us.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
And I think we'll give a shout out to Charles Baruch, who is an HWA NY member, who is the mad mastermind behind a lot of the Lich programming. So,
and Patrick Kennedy is one of the main organizers, a friend of mine for a good number of years. So it's very cool. Yeah.
Yes, he brings a lot of heart to the event. Patrick does. Yeah.
Great team of volunteers. Yeah. Right. So, what do you think? Should we start bringing some people in to chat with?
Let's do it. Yeah. I'll start off introducing our first guest tonight, Marc Abbott. Marc is a Brooklyn native horror author. He's the co-author of Hell at Brooklyn T and the two-time African-American Literary Award-winning horror anthology Hell at the Way Station. His horror short stories are featured in the anthologies Blackened Roots, A Woman Unbecoming, Soul Scream, Even in the Grave, and the Bram Stoker-nominated horror anthologies A New York State of Fright and Under Twin Suns, Alternate Histories of the Yellow Sign. His horror novel Sinister Ascension from Mocha Memoirs Press just celebrated its book birthday. He is a 2015 Moth Story Slam and Grand Slam Storyteller winner and an award-winning actor. And when he is not curating workshops for the Center of Fiction, he teaches writing to students at Dr. Izquierdo Health and Science Charter School. And you can find out more about Marc at whoismarclabbott.com, or you can ask him here on the show. Welcome, Marc.
I don't think I'm busy enough.
Yeah. You need to like take care of that spare time you got, dude. Yeah.
Exactly.
How are you guys? Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It has been a wonderful 2025 for horror, in my opinion. So
all right. Well,
I'm excited to talk to you guys.
Yeah. I can't wait to jump into that once we get everybody on. Woo! So you're Mr. A, so you got to go first. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Would you like to introduce our next
I think that'd be lovely.
member?
Ellen Datlow is coming on to join us. Ellen has been editing science fiction, fantasy, and horror short story fiction for more than 4 decades. She currently acquires short stories and novellas for Reactor, Tor.com, and Nightfire. She's edited numerous anthologies for adults, young adults, and children, including the Best Horror of the Year annual series and most recently Night and Day, a 2-part horror anthology modeled after the Ace Doubles. She's won multiple awards, was named recipient of the 2007 Carl Edward Wagner Award, given at the British Fantasy Convention for outstanding contribution to the genre, the Lifetime Achievement Award given by the Horror Writers Association, and the World Fantasy Life Achievement Award at the 2014 World Fantasy Convention. She runs the Fantastic Fiction at KGB Reading Series in New York City with Matthew Kressel. She can be found on the website datlow.com and on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Facebook, and you can Google to find her there. Ellen, join us, please.
Hi there.
Hey, Ellen.
Thank you for inviting me. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah,
Happy
delighted
New
to see you.
All right. Now, the next in our Murderers Row, our Rogues Gallery, whatever we want to call it here tonight, of horror experts is Amy Grech. Amy has sold more than 100 stories to various anthologies and magazines, including 10 by 10 Flash Fiction Stories, Apex Magazine, Even in the Grave, Gamut Magazine, Punk Noir Magazine, Roy Fainéant Press, Tales from the Canyons of the Damned, Yellow Mama, and many others. Alien Buddha Press published her poetry chapbook, A Shadow of Your Former Self, and she is a 2-time Pushcart nominee. Amy is an active member of the Horror Writers Association who lives in Forest Hill, Queens. And you can connect with her on Blue Sky or Medium, where she goes by crimsonscreams.medium.com, on X or her website, crimsonscreams.com. Let's welcome Amy.
Hi, guys. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Amy. Happy 2026.
Yes, I hope it's a good one so far for everyone. Mine has been great so far, actually.
Cool. Glad to see you.
Likewise.
All right. We have another willing participant. Jonathan Lees is continuing to explore personal rituals by inscribing uncanny texts about ill behaviors that have appeared in such illustrious tomes as Long Division, Even in the Grave, Other Terrors, and the Shirley Jackson Award winning The Hideous Book of Hidden Horrors. Recently, We Have Never Been Here Before was featured in editor Tom Deedy's new anthology, The Rack 2, and To Those That Have Lost Hope will be unleashed in Suffering the Other, out in early 2026 from Dim Shores. You can find Jonathan Lees at documentiaprojects.com. Jonathan, come on.
Hey everyone, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
All right. And the last member of our cult tonight is Sam Rebelein. Sam writes and teaches in Poughkeepsie, New York. His short fiction has appeared in Pseudopod, The Deadlands, Press Pause Press, Ellen Datlow's Best Horror of the Year, and elsewhere. His debut novel, Edenville, was nominated for a Bram Stoker Award and won the Wonderland Book Award for Best Novel. His first collection of interconnected short fiction, The Poorly Made and Other Things, and his recent novel, Galloway's Gospel, are all set in the same fictional upstate New York County as Edenville. For more about Sam's work and pictures of his scruffy pooch, Frodo, follow him on Instagram at RebelSam94. All right. Welcome, Sam, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year! Excited to be here.
Woohoo. Yeah.
I think we all deserve a round of applause for having survived a week of 2026. I mean, let's
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll do a round of applause. Yes.
yeah, we're still here. We're still, people sound positive. I love it. Let's keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Now, we're in the New York City area. We've just had 2 days of very warm weather. It was like 50 degrees here, which is like kind of bizarre for January, but I wasn't going to
It
argue.
was lovely. It's supposed to be 50 tomorrow, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got my window open.
I love that winter weather where we had a few weeks ago or a couple of weeks ago, it was a bunch of snow on the ground and we had that warm day and everything just turned to fog for like 12 hours.
Yes. It was like driving around in the mist.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
lots of fun. Well, thank you all for joining us. I think we were looking back at 2025 as a year for horror. Was it a good year, a bad year, mediocre year? And we thought, well, we would reach out to a few horror experts, horror aficionados. We know that you're all following the genre closely, and ask you what you think. What was the good, the bad, the delightfully ugly, the gloriously gruesome? What should people look for if they missed it, and what should they avoid if they didn't even know about it? So we're going to start out. We'll start with alphabetical order. So we're going to go to Marc first, Abbott, and we'll hear what one of Marc's picks is, and then the way we're going to work the format for this, just to let the audience know, is we're going to let each person discuss their pick before we have a little discussion and conversation about it. And we encourage and welcome you in the audience to join in on the discussion in the comments, ask questions. We will try to answer questions as we go if you have any, or you want to just throw some interesting insight into the conversation. And I think without further ado, we'll just go ahead and jump to Marc. Marc, I'm going to try and make you big here for a second. So
Okay.
bear with me while there we go. All right.
Hey.
All right.
Oh, okay. So, what happened? Oh, okay. I'm good.
Where'd he go?
Yeah, I'm just going to shuffle everybody here because apparently I don't know how to do this.
All right.
There we go. All right.
Okay. Okay. So I'll go with my first pick. I'm looking at movies. I know there'll be a quiet side, but my first is Final Destination's Bloodlines. This was the latest in the Final Destination series. I've been a fan of this, just for the sheer awe to see exactly what the directors and producers do each time they bring this story around. But it is the same plot line. You know, someone escapes death. Death doesn't like it, and death decides, well, you know what, I have to find unique ways to bring you to the other side. But what makes this film very important to me and very near and dear to my heart is because this is the last time we see Tony Todd. Tony Todd, as you know, we lost him, and he was a very integral part to the horror genre and fantasy genre as well. And knowing that this was the last time we would ever see him on screen was pretty important to me. And one of the things that drove me to go see this movie is because apparently his last words on screen were improvised. The director basically told him, say goodbye to your fans one last time. Say whatever you want to say. And he wishes all of us well and to live a good life. And I thought that was a very profound thing to do in the middle of all of the unique types of murders and deaths that were going on. But it's just a fun movie. I just really enjoyed to see how they come up with different ideas for death. I think the most unique in that entire film was the guy that goes to the hospital, and they put him in like the MRI machine, and they turn on the magnet within the machine, and it starts pulling in all of these people. And of course, there's somebody there with piercings that ends up going and getting like sliced right in half and goes right through the machine. So it's just a fun film. I really enjoyed it.
Marc, thank you. Now I'm going to just give me a moment, see if I can get this to go the way I want it to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a different format than we usually do, so this is fun to try on the fly.
Yeah, well, I had this figured out from a previous one, but they seem to have changed.
Yes, perhaps they changed it for the new year.
The controls.
Okay.
All right. Well, I want to get Marc up here as the main person with us on the side.
Okay. This is
I
but
see
I
what
can't
you're
quite
trying
do
to
it. All right, I'm just going to go back to the group layout for the moment.
okay. It's all done with mirrors, guys. Yeah.
Spotlight layout, and then I should be able to spotlight Mark. I know everybody's in the audience is like, what are you guys doing?
All the names are changed to protect the innocent. That's the answer. Yeah.
It's that new Brady Bunch thing that they put on the.
Exactly.
Got it. You know what they
look at
do?
it. Yay! Good
It's
job,
not,
Tim.
it's not a click this or that. It's a click and drag now.
Oh.
Oh, fancy.
But this is better because now, Mark, everyone can see the reactions to your commentary, and I know that a lot of people were thinking or really responding to what you were saying about Tony Todd, because Tony Todd is just one of the greats, and it was for many, many years in the horror genre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was
So underused. So underused.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
so much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I will say I didn't realize how sick he was till you see him on the screen, and then you're suddenly like, oh my God, I didn't realize. I knew he was sick. I didn't realize this is this is the last send off for you. Yeah. And it was just, I thought it was a beautiful way to pay tribute to him and to the character that he has played in almost every single one of these films, sans for one. But just to kind of, and his character actually gets an origin story in this film, which is interesting. So you get to see how he has been connected to death his entire life. And death, for whatever reason, death never takes him like it takes everybody else.
It's because he's Tony Todd.
He's the candy man. How are you gonna go grab the candy man off the street? So but it was a beautiful tribute to him, and the movie itself was a roller coaster ride of very unique deaths at very unique places. Some of them, they were a little, I guess, as I get older, 15-year-old me would have been in the theater screaming and hollering and throwing popcorn. Yeah. And now 50-something-year-old me is like, ooh, that's don't, no, not the lip, please, no. So it's still, I mean, what is the effect that Final Destinations has had on everybody? For me, I will never drive my car behind a lumber truck.
Tell him about it. I literally move lane after lane. I will almost hurt myself moving out of the way.
I think we all think exactly the same thing when we see a lumber truck.
The films have always had a silly vibe. They're energetic. They're fun to watch, especially kids who grew up on slashers but want to see a slasher taken to a different level without like a lumbering human being behind a knife. But the cool thing about Final Destination was, for me, it was the scariest because I literally think about these things day in, day out. Oh shit, I'm in the dentist chair. What's going to happen now? These are things that I think about, and that's my problem. I have to deal with it. But to see it on the big screen is such a revelation. It's such a cool series, and you can judge the quality of them all you want, but it's just a good time at the movies.
Yeah.
I agree with the series being overall really solid. There obviously are really good ones, but there are no really bad ones, in my opinion. Yeah. I think it's one of those few series that holds up. And we had a nice comment from Tim Letany in the chat that the latest Final Destination, this one was from the same writer as the Scream reboot and Ready or Not.
Oh, okay.
It's always interesting to hear that what writers are up to.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that was my first pick. Should I do my second one, or are you going to come back to me?
Why don't we come back? We'll throw somebody else into the octagon here, and I think maybe I'll try. Let's see if I can make this work. Ellen.
Yay.
It's so easy once you know how it works. All right.
Yeah. Hi. So anyway, all right. I've been I don't read that many novels every year. I just don't have the time because of the year's best. But I've been reading Stephen Graham Jones's work for a long time, mostly his short stories. I mean, I started reading the short stories and taking some of the, I think the earliest one I ever took was Raphael for the year's best. And I've read some of his novels. I mean, I think I read Mongrels, which I adored. And I actually read one of his early novels I bought and used it as my guilty pleasure, which is like a month period between reading for the 1 year and the next year. I think it was Growing Up in Texas When You're Dead or something. It was a mainstream novel, basically. And I read The Only Good Indian, his novellas. I published some of them, the most recent ones, well, a few of them, and the Angel Lake trilogy. But last year, I read The Buffalo Hunter, which is like amazing. I mean, it's like every book of his is different. I mean, the trilogy is all similar in some way, but The Buffalo Hunter is a historical. It's a vampire novel. It's very big, and it starts. It takes place in 2012. Someone finds a journal on a wall about a journal written by their ancestor in 1912. Lutheran minister who has encountered a Blackfeet Indian who comes to him and wants to confess. He confesses that he's a vampire. The guy, of course, doesn't really believe him, but he said, okay, yeah, you can confess. But it's a history of indigenous people. It's the history of some real life massacres that took place in that period of time. And and One Stab is the name of the character, the Blackfeet Indian, and he tells how he became a vampire. And it's not like your typical vampire. I mean, the mechanism changes and you find out more as it goes on, but One Stab has to prey on other indigenous people and his own tribe. Can't remember if he can prey on other tribes, but his own is the most important. And it's just amazing. Of course, it's beautifully written. I mean, everything by Stephen is. And it's gripping, and the history is heartbreaking and anger-making. And it's just brilliant. I think it's one of the best novels of the year that I read. As I said, I only read like a handful each year, but that was one that really impressed me. And it does something at the end that I cannot believe he goes there. That's all I'm going to say. And
yeah.
And I wrote to Steve and I said, I can't believe you went there. He said, yeah. And anyone who's read it knows what I'm talking about. So, but
okay,
you have to read it.
We're going to briefly share the cover.
Mm-hmm.
The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones.
Yeah.
And I was so distracted trying to shuffle everybody around, I did forget to share the Final Destination Bloodline movie poster. So we'll just pop that up to say thanks to Mark. So
I just want to add something about what's interesting. I mean, I edited a lot of Stephen's work. I edited about 3 of his novellas for Tor.com and his stories, and they never seemed specifically related to his background. And I asked him about it, and then he started writing more about it, The Only Good Indian, and after that, he used the history of the indigenous peoples and Blackfeet specifically. And I asked him about it. I said, it's like your stories don't use that. And he said, well, in my head, of course, they are the characters are, but but it's never. He doesn't usually make it specific, or it's not obvious in his short fiction usually, but in his novels he's definitely doing it more and more, and I think he's always done it a bit more, so that's kind of interesting to me.
And we've got a great comment from Daniel Roop, and this is the kind of thing I love to hear about a book. Incredible book. My 15-year-old daughter had to have it for Christmas after listening to me rave about it for months.
Did she read it? Yeah. What did she think of it?
Yeah,
well, that would be good to know too. But I just love the power of an enthusiastic reader talking about something to get someone else excited about a book.
Oh yeah.
Which Oh my gosh, that's what we're doing now. Yeah.
If you haven't read it, you got to read it. Have to read it.
Awesome.
Very good.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
I love his work. So.
Oh, she's just
She's
Daniel
just
says
starting.
she's just starting. Okay, fair enough. It's a long book, so.
Oh, Daniel, report back to us next month what she thought. Okay.
Well, thank you, Ellen. All right, I think we're going to mix it up a little bit because if we just go in alpha order steadily, that gets a little predictable. Is that okay with everyone?
Sure.
Sure.
I'm going to drop down to the bottom here and bring up Sam Rebelein.
Goddamn right. Let's go. I am tonight boosting Moonflow by Bitter Corella. It's part of the like purple and pink zeitgeist that seemed to happen this fall. There were just so many like purple and pink covers that came out all at once, I feel like, this fall. And anyway, it's a beautiful cover and it's just such a fun book. It starts with this woman, Sarah, who is like growing magic mushrooms, and she has a bad batch, so money is tight. She has to take care of her cat. It's like the most stressful situation. She's got to pay her rent and take care of her cat. Like I'm in. But she ends up on this odyssey through these like cursed woods that are sort of like moving around, and like there are spirits texting her through her phone as she's getting lost in these woods, trying to find these like super duper special mushrooms, you know, that will solve all her problems. And she stumbles across like a lesbian mushroom death cult living in an abandoned like lumber mill out in the middle of this like cursed forest. And they have their own adventure that they're doing, and they all have like crazy unique names. Like one of my favorite characters is the Hell Slut. This like big mercenary gal who's going out on missions, and it's just a lot of fun. It's just it felt like every bit was something that I had not really seen before in horror. It just felt like a novel that was not concerned with taking itself seriously and just wanted to do whatever it wanted to do and have fun while it was doing it. And it just felt like a really unique, fun read to me. So that's Moonflow. I could say much more about it, but I'll leave it at that.
Is it set in the current time, or is it? I missed that. If you said
it is, yeah, it's contemporary.
Okay, because it sounds like my college in the 70s. Did I say that? No. Yeah. No, that's awesome. It sounds really cool. I mean, I feel like take my money now. You know, that sounds great.
It does, yeah. Well, and this is not directly related to the book, but where would Galactic Terrors be without a snarky comment from Teal James Glenn? He says, "Nice to see you dressed for a home invasion, Sam."
Well, I didn't shower today, so it's just a little messy up here. You know.
You've got the fabulous hair. Come on, dude. Yeah.
But no, that does sound great. And the cover, as you were describing the book, the cover became even more interesting because I looked at that and thought, oh, mushroom psychedelic kind of thing. And so they captured that feel very nicely in the image, the illustration.
Yeah, and I think the novel toes the line very well between what is real and what is the mushroom trip and what is sort of supernatural, cosmic horror stuff happening. And by the end, there are some pieces that I'm still not entirely sure. So it's a really fun one to dig into and see what you believe is true or not.
Very cool.
And Teal knows that I'm going to have one question for you. Does the cat survive?
Yes, absolutely. The cat survives.
Okay.
All right. So some of our readers will be put at ease by that. But Sam, one of your books made a list last year, didn't it?
A list?
The New York Public Library.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
I know. I emailed you about it. I can't remember which book it was now.
The Poorly Made was a New York Public Library fall pick or whatever it was. I think Buffalo Hunter was on that list too.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, yeah, that was a cool one to be on. Rachel was on there. A lot of good folks and a lot of books that I hadn't heard of. Like I think one called Portal Mania, which seems like a fun time. It's got kind of a wild cover. But yeah, that was an honor. That was a pretty crazy thing to have happen this year.
Yeah, and that's kind of stuff is cool because the book you just talked about was not on my radar, so now I'm very interested to go check it out. So I like capturing the best and the most interesting of the year.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, why don't we bring on Amy Grech?
Hey. All right. So my pick is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. And in typical Hendrix style, he blends patriarchy horror with teenage witches. It's set in the 1970s in St. Augustine, Florida, in an era called the baby scoop era, when thousands of unwed pregnant women were forced to give up their children for adoption. And it tracks the lead character, 15-year-old Fern, and she arrives at this home for wayward girls, and she's terrified and alone, but she meets a librarian who gives her a book about witchcraft, and that empowers her and the other girls for the first time in their lives. And it's a fascinating take on, it's really entrenched in the 70s, and I grew up during the 1970s, so that resonated with me. And just the themes of there's a little misogyny thrown in there, and then ultimately the empowerment for these young girls through witchcraft is it's really fun.
Go ahead and feature the cover here for a moment. Grady Hendrix, New York Times bestselling author of How to Sell a Haunted House, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. Nice.
Can I see some?
Cool. That's
Ellen, oh yeah, go ahead and jump in if anyone wants to
I was
speak.
going to say that I'm amazed. I read that and I was amazed that the point of view of he was able to capture the point of view of these young girls amazingly. A wonderful.
Yeah. Fantastic job.
I mean, I've never been pregnant, and he made me realize, oh, this is what it'd be like. It was
Exactly.
really amazing that he did a great job at that.
He does
Done
relationships.
a lot of
really well.
research. Mm-hmm.
Well, Grady also often writes with a little, more than a little humor. Was that part of this book too, or was this
Yes,
more serious?
there
Occasionally, he goes.
was
very
a lot
serious.
of humor sprinkled throughout. Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, Jonathan, what were you saying?
Oh, just the way he handles relationships is usually beautifully done. Even when it's something ridiculous, like you have a little puppet running around in the background saying "caca wee wee," his characters are so lifelike and beautiful and infuriating and just realistic that it doesn't matter that puppet's there. You have the characters to ground you. So he's always great at that.
Which book is that puppet in? I have not read that
I
one.
remember
How to
that.
Sell a Haunted House.
Oh, okay.
How to Sell a Haunted House. It's great.
I fell behind a little
That
bit.
being in Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I missed that.
Yes, interesting.
I recommend it for sure.
Very cool. All
Well,
right.
and,
Well,
I also want to just mention that we're keeping the list of all these recommendations. We're going to add them into the show notes at the end of the show, into YouTube and on Facebook. So if you aren't catching it as we go through, we'll put the whole list up.
absolutely. All right. Oh, wait. Here's a comment from Tim Lateni. Too many puppets. Can you have too many puppets? I don't know. I guess it depends. All right. Well, let's go to Jonathan Lees. There we go. It was defying my drag.
I don't know if this shirt's a spoiler, but
Uh-oh.
I was having a really hard time thinking about what to choose because there were a lot of great horror films this year, but I wanted to honor one that I think I'm going to go back to again and again. And you could release, look, we have 2 films that might be in the Oscar race from the horror community, and that's crazy because that doesn't often happen. But I wanted to honor something that was kind of batshit, kind of sleazy, almost reminded me like a modern day Eaten Alive by Tobe Hooper back in the 70s. And this director is one of the few people that I know is influenced by VHS trash, but he's not referential, and it doesn't feel like a pastiche of the past. It's his own thing with its own heartbeat and energy, and that is director Sean Byrne's Dangerous Animals, about a young, sassy, savvy surfer. Is that enough alliteration there? Who is basically conked over the head and kidnapped by a serial killer who uses sharks to a very deadly device. And it's wild. First of all, it's super low budget, but the filmmaking is gorgeous. Outstanding cinematography. The acting is never cartoonish, except for the lead. Jai Courtney is really, really great as the serial killer. It's sickening. It's hilarious. No wonder no one shoots in the US anymore, because they made this film for $2 million. And if you watch this, you will never believe that. So yeah, this is super fun, super ridiculous. I love it. Put sharks in anything and I'm there, but this one's actually good.
Here's the movie poster.
Ooh, blood
in the water.
You're safer in the water. That's a great tagline too.
Yeah.
That reminds me.
It's a great tagline.
They thought of that one.
Yes.
That's cool. I love that
Well,
blood
I
trail.
gotta check that out. Yeah.
I loved this one too. I just thought when I thought there was nothing new to be done with shark movies, this one did something new with it.
Yeah.
And no spoilers in the comments, please.
That was one of those. I was going through Shudder, and I saw the poster, and I was like, "Huh, okay, I'm just gonna put this on in the background." I never did whatever it was I was supposed to be doing, because it just sucked me right in.
Yep.
And I was like, "This is a unique way to do a shark film."
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It really was.
Cool.
Yeah, it was, and I agree with you completely, Jonathan, about the look of it. It's beautifully filmed. And
Where was it filmed?
It's insane.
Australia.
In Australia.
Yeah,
Oh, where?
Australia.
Oh,
Oh wow. Mm-hmm.
So very cool. And I discovered after I watched that whole movie thinking, gee, I've seen the lead actress somewhere before, and I couldn't remember where. And it turns out that she was I guess on the cast of Yellowstone, and is a country music singer in her other career. Okay. I don't follow country music, so I guess I must have seen her on Yellowstone.
And if we made it sound too fun and frothy, it has one of the most insane death scenes I've seen in a film.
I was going to say, I also really like this one. It's got some great gut punch moments. Like, there were multiple times I just went, oh.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Oh, I can't wait to go check that one out. Yeah.
I think it's still on Shudder.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Awesome.
Da-da,
So,
da-da.
Mark, why don't we come back around to you, since we're talking about movies? And I think you're still in that cinematic space right now.
Yeah. This next one, I don't even know where to begin, because I when I went to the theater and saw the poster and I looked at it, I was like, I don't know about this body horror. I don't know. This doesn't. Not sure how this is going to fare. And I watched Together. And
I love Together. Yeah.
I will tell you, the last time I was disturbed by something like this was Society, back in the 80s, where you really, like, they tell you from the beginning how this is happening. You already know going in, okay, I know how whatever this thing is that's causing this type of body horror to happen, it's who's behind it. That when they start to peel back the onion, and you're like, wait, what? And the concept of the ultimate togetherness of a couple. The idea that if you commit yourself completely to one another, the being together isn't all that bad. However, if you are not too sure you want to get into this, it's literally an allegory for either the relationship is going to work or it's not. And if it's not going to work, you don't want to see what happens when the couples are not on the same page. But I will say, there is a bathroom sequence that I had to back it up because I was like, no, you guys did not. You did not. That was like, I couldn't. I was like, I got mad at the scene because I was like, I wish I would have thought of that.
Right, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So when you see it, I don't even want to give, but when you see it, it's you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's got to hurt. But it's a wonderful allegory about relationships, commitment, what people are willing to go through just to make something work. And then what the final outcome has to be in order for both parties to make it through the horror of all of this.
Wow.
Can I also just say they're both incredible in that? Alison Brie and Dave Franco are both very, very good. There's a bit where they're like trying to separate themselves and they kind of fail, and then they're just sitting quietly on the kitchen floor together. That's an amazing moment. Like just that quiet bit between them is so well played. So I like this one as well. And also, as long as I'm still talking on a like very quick random tangent, I saw this movie the same day that I saw a movie I've never heard anyone else talk about, which is The Home with Pete Davidson, which I thought was...
That's fine that no one's talking about it.
I thought it was fun. I had a good time. Yeah, it wasn't great, but like I was satisfied. I ate a whole bucket of popcorn watching it. And I was like, oh my god, oh Pete,
that's
get
why
out
it
of
was
there.
good.
Yeah.
Extra butter.
Oh my gosh. Well, Together has been on my list, and oddly enough, my wife has been bugging me. She wants to see it, so I'm not really sure how to take that.
Take your daughter with you. Take your daughter with you. Yeah.
What is with Alison Brie was on Community for many years and is hilarious, and she's having like this second career as a horror movie star because she did Together. She was in was it The Rental? And there was at least one other one I'm forgetting that I think she was in, which is kind of cool. She's quite a strong dramatic actress too.
Yeah,
she's got range.
Yeah. But Mark, you mentioned Society, and I just feel like if anybody listening hasn't seen Society and you're a body horror fan, Society is peak 80s batshit crazy body horror. It's the kind of movie that I don't know. Jonathan, you've seen Society, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If you follow Haley Piper, you've basically seen Society because every meme, every picture on the feed is Society. But yeah, the shunting is very famous.
Yeah.
I don't think they could make a movie like Society today just because the weirdness of it is too much. But it's, thank God for, as just Jonathan said, VHS trash.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Which, if you're looking for good VHS trash, again, The Home with Pete Davidson. Really gonna scratch that
you can't get me to watch
now with more popcorn. Yeah.
Lots of butter too.
If you send me popcorn, Sam, I'll watch it.
Okay.
I just want to point out that Mark confessed here that he had a bathroom backup problem. So I hope the plumber took care of all this, Mark.
Oh my gosh. All right. So from body horror, who's got the right work to segue from body horror?
I think I do. I have
Go ahead, Amy.
It's called
called
Beta Vulgaris, Margie Sarsfield, and it is about a young woman. The tagline one reviewer gave it is, it's got the beat and it's creepy. And it's actually based on the author when she was young, going to Minnesota and taking a job working at a sugar beet enclave. And it really does a great job of exploring the other. Elsie is the main character, and she's going to this new place, and things are definitely not what they seem. And her boyfriend Tom joins her, and halfway through the book, he disappears. And then she has issues with an eating disorder. It also sort of ticks several boxes about personal anxiety, including social anxiety, climate, body image. And Elsie starts to hear voices from the meat pile that command her to return to the dirt. So it's also sort of reminds me of Edgar Allan Poe and the Telltale Heart in a way, because there's this mounting dread. And then she also has issues with finances, which is why she and her boyfriend go. This gig at the beet farm is supposed to, it would pay a couple of months rent on their Brooklyn apartment. There's just a lot of moving parts. It struck me as being biting and eerie. It's sort of a slow burn, but it's got it touches on class, the haves versus the have-nots, trauma, consumption, and ultimately redemption.
And it has a really cool cover.
I know, right? That's what attracted it to me. I saw it at Barnes and Noble, and I'm like, oh, I have to go in.
I saw now the beats on the eyes makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Amy, you just came across this one by chance because it's so unusual. It sounds like such an odd book.
Yeah, the cover jumped out at me. I was looking for something new when I was at Barnes and Noble last year, and I read the back cover blurb, and just the back cover blurb and the cover there with that striking image pulled me in.
That's the best, though, when you find something just randomly rather than having it served to you by 8 million algorithms and social media networks.
Exactly.
It's really cool to still discover something on your own.
And the other thing I forgot to mention, it's the author's debut novel. It's her first novel.
Oh, that's exciting. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Very cool. Well, we have an interesting comment. Laura Blackwell pointed out that she grew up not that far from a sugar beet refinery, and incidentally, they smell awful.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
But I think Mark, as our resident expert in yam horror, how do you feel about beet horror, sugar beet horror coming down?
I haven't ventured into that realm yet, so maybe this year I'll check it out.
Time for a beat down.
As long as you get to the root of the problem, it'll be fine.
Exactly.
Oh my God! And Teal's not even part of this.
I know.
I'm like,
Teal jokes abound.
That was good. We got 2 puns out of that. Good job, guys.
Well, Teal and I have a 3-page list of yam jokes for Mark. So because we love that story so much.
I am what I am.
Oh well.
All right. Why don't we jump back to Ellen?
Well, I just realized that my other book is body horror too. I mean, Cassidy's When the Wolf Comes Home. It's transformation. I mean, it starts with a woman who's trying to be an actress, and she comes at a 5-year-old boy appears in her yard, and he's terrified and he's all bloodied, and his father's after him, and she assumes that it's the father is an abusive relationship. Excuse me. And the father actually turns into a monster, a wolf, kind of, almost a werewolf. Excuse me. But all of this, it's so twisty. The thing is, I don't want to give too much away, but okay. For those who watch, remember Billy Mooney in It's a Wonderful Life, the Twilight Zone?
Yeah.
A child has the power to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's what this 5-year-old is actually creating all these things. I mean, his fears become real. And that is kind of the main thing in the story, although it goes other places. But it's terrifying. I mean, it's a 5-year-old kid. He has no control over what he's doing. First, you think it's the father who's the monster. And then you realize it's the father is trying to control his child and not let the child be afraid and not. He's been isolated for 5 years. Can't remember what happens to the mother. But the child's been isolated to protect the child and everybody else. And it's just a lot of bloodshed. It's really grisly. And it's really wonderful. I mean, I've never read any other. I might have read, I think maybe I did read an earlier novel by Nat, but this one just is in your face. Cool. It's heartbreaking and it's terrifying. And it goes to an interesting, again, it's like no spoiler, but the ending is not what you think is going to happen. And it's interesting. It's part and parcel of the process of the child and his powers and trying to control them.
All right. And here is the cover, which is really a nice evocative cover. And it's interesting. It has a blurb from Stephen King, because when I saw this image, the first thing that popped into mind was
Cujo. Yeah.
Cycle of the Moon.
Oh,
Cycle of the Werewolf.
Cycle of the Werewolf. Thank you. Yeah, with the Bernie Wrightson art and everything. Yeah. So this
I just want to say there's a scene where cartoon characters become monsters. That's really cool.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, and
I was going to say that is, there are 2 sequences in this book that are the most memorable sequences from books that I've read this year, and it's the cartoon characters, and then what happens to that poor FBI guy is the gnarliest thing that's happened to a character, I think, in a book that I've read this year.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Really,
cool.
really wild.
all right, this is another one I got to put on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I absolutely loved his nestlings, and I loved how he dove into the horror of being in New York City in that book. So I'm looking forward to this one too.
Well, this is a road trip, basically.
Cool.
It's a really badly conceived road trip. Yeah, really badly.
Thank you to Laura Blackwell for reminding us.
Encounter these people.
The Twilight Zone episode was "It's a Good Life" based on a Jerome Bixby story.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Oh, is that the one where he's making the rat eat himself? The rat is like eating itself from the tail up.
I don't remember.
Story?
I don't remember.
In it, but basically, they have to tread softly because the kid is God.
Right.
Oh, the Twilight Zone story? I think that's too gruesome for the Twilight Zone of the.
Yeah,
I think the original story, I think, maybe starts.
Oh,
if I'm thinking of
possibly,
the right one.
maybe
Yeah.
I don't think I ever read the original story.
Yeah. The original one was famous for the "I'm going to send you to the cornfield." Yeah, he mostly wishes people into a cornfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems pretty innocent compared to when the wolf comes home. Yeah, go into the cornfield. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Very cool. All right. Let's.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute. What happens in the cornfield? I don't remember. What happened in the cornfield? Do we know?
We don't know. We never find out.
Don't they get zapped into the dirt? They're like under the cornfield. It's not...
They become Jack in the Boxes, I think, in the show, said Laura, and I do remember that from the show, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. What did happen to them in the cornfield?
They become scarecrows. I've read a lot of stories like that.
I think they waited there a couple of decades until Stephen King wrote "Children of the Corn," and then
When the children found
they became "He Who Walks Among the Roads."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Let's go to Jonathan again. Jonathan, you are muted at the moment.
Of course I am, because I still haven't learned. There we go. Okay, so every now and then a culture, a country, a continent will have a come up, whether it's South Korea or Japan or French, France when it came to the French extremism cinema. So I'm going to stay in Australia. We had Dangerous Animals. Now we're going to go with Bring Her Back. So this is by Danny and Michael. I'm going to butcher the name, but I think it's Philippou. They're South Australian. Their first film was Talk to Me. They are YouTubers that got funding to make their film. And Talk to Me, for me, was a great horror scenario, a little similar to W.W. Jacobs' Monkey Paw for the modern era. It was cool, but to me, it didn't really land. It wasn't something that I wanted to return to. But Bring Her Back is a great horror film. It's fully realized, horrifically executed, stunning acting by a mostly child cast. And it's about after the sudden death of their father, these step siblings are placed in the care of a new foster mother. And within the first 2 seconds of the film, there's a ritual being filmed. And they do not hide anything. Like, as far as you know, this is going to be the most upsetting film you'll see all year. But I have to say that with all the grief and trauma movies that we've seen year after year, especially in the horror genre, this one has a different sinister, but also warm, warm energy. And it's just cuckoo. Has one of the best shocks in films this year. Sally Hawkins' performance as the woman who adopts the children deserves to be right up there with Amy Madigan from Weapons. She's insanely good, and she won. Was she nominated for Shape of Water? Anyways, she was from Shape of Water, so I guess she only gets nominated when she has sex with fish or works with Del Toro. But this is very rough. I was giggling and hiding the whole time, hoping it would stop, but then wanting it to go on. It has insane practical effects, and it truly feels chaotic. Like, I never knew where it was going to go next. And to me, that's the mark of a great horror film, and one I'll return to immediately.
All right, let's take a quick look at the poster. Bring Her Back. It's a really creepy poster. I do think that image is very powerful on its own.
I didn't make it through this.
Oh,
really?
I didn't. Okay. Yeah, it's still sitting at that spot where I was like, nope. and it's one. It's. I agree with Jonathan. It's really good up to the part that I got to, and it's just one of those moments where I was like, I'm not there yet. I got to get back to being in the mood to pick it up where I stopped. But it was at a moment where I was just like, I don't know how much more of this I can take for now. So I'll come back, and I'm sure once I pick up again, I'll be like, oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you have foster kids, if you have kids, if you have cats, if you have teeth, if you have tables.
Yeah, the cat.
So,
yeah. It's really intense, for sure.
Yeah,
the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's full on dark. There's no ray of light in this movie, and you don't realize that until you've gone too far to turn back, unless you're Mark. I'm assuming you were stronger willed than I was. There was a point at which I was like, okay, this movie's not going where I expected it to. This is really disturbing. What the hell is wrong with these people? And you just can't stop watching. And
it's like a train wreck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where you say, what the hell's wrong with me? I'm still watching this?
Yes.
I've given up asking that question, Carol.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, it is fascinating to me.
I ask myself that about other movies that are not horror. Why am I still watching this? I hate these characters.
True.
Yeah. Let's take it into a rom-com, and we have to tie her in the seat, I think.
Well, non-horror movies, I have no problem turning off if I'm not digging them. But a horror movie, I just feel like
you want to see the end.
I got to know how this ends, because there's always that hope that they're going to throw something in there that you never saw coming. Mm-hmm. And Bring Her Back does that. I mean,
again.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you where this movie was going, and it was. I'm glad that Jonathan picked it.
Yeah, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are movies that I never want to watch again that I thought were really good that I just couldn't. I could never watch Hereditary again.
Oh my gosh!
Oh God, it's so good on a rewatch.
Oh please, I can't.
Ellen, that's one I almost turned off. There's a scene. I'm sure you can guess which scene. And that scene, and I almost said, "No, this is too much for me." But
yeah, I can never watch The Thing. I've been wanting to rewatch John Carpenter's The Thing since
Oh
I
my
saw
God.
it.
Oh my
And I
god.
haven't been able to get myself to do it.
Legendary. Come on, you could do it.
Maybe with somebody. I don't know if I want to watch it alone.
That's fair.
I'll bring popcorn, Ellen. We'll
Yes.
hang out. We'll watch.
But watch out, he's also going to bring a copy of The Home with
Height 90. You're gonna love it.
Helps cleanse the palate.
Yeah.
So quick comment from Daniel Roop to confirm Sam was right about the rat in the original story. It's in the Vandermeer's The Weird anthology. Thank
Not
you.
surprising that
It's right over there.
All right. And why don't we go to Sam now for his next pick?
Oh my gosh. Well, I picked two reads that I thought were just really fun and sort of like comfortable in their tropiness. So the other one that I picked is The Cut by C.J. Dotson, which I have not seen a lot of people talk about either. But I thought this was just a very fun, like, it's sort of like a cozy, I don't want to say cozy horror, but it's like in the same way that I feel like an Agatha Christie is good to read over the winter. It was just so much fun to hang out at the Larpin Hotel from The Cut in November. I think I listened to the audiobook. But anyway, it's a very basic premise. This woman is escaping an abusive relationship. She takes her kid and she's pregnant with another kid. And the first job she can get is a maid at this hotel called the Larpin Hotel. And it's pretty obvious early on that there's some kind of monstery stuff afoot. And so it's just kind of a slow burn and kind of structured like many video games that I've loved, where you're sort of in kind of a quiet environment and then you descend into something really crazy in this other space. And I've talked to CJ about her love for video games as well. So confirmed. But it's just a fun, weird little cosmic romp with characters that I was really rooting for. I think she renders the environment and Sadie, our heroine, really well. Although I will say the abusive boyfriend, the abusive guy that she's running away from, his name is Sam. So bad rap. Sam's everywhere.
I had a problem with that book, and the reason, I don't want to go into it too much, I don't think, because it's a social thing, but I didn't find her believable at all.
Sadie?
I couldn't, I'm going to say it, you know, people can yell at me, but I can't believe that she never considered abortion. She's pregnant only like 2 months or something. She's running from an abusive guy who wants to kill her. He's abused her physically over and over again, and she doesn't even consider it. I mean, that to me was just unrealistic.
I think she does. Doesn't she say it's something she doesn't have the money or something? Like,
I would have noticed. I mean, not
reason.
only that, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe it ever came up. And to me, that was unrealistic, that she didn't even think of it.
Well, that's right. I could be misremembering too. But I will say also, part of the reason that I enjoyed this, I did the audiobook, and Jen Lee does the audiobook. And I've done a couple Jen Lee audiobooks this year, and I think she's brilliant.
She is fantastic.
Yeah, she's just great at all the voices. She made it feel more realistic to me, I will say. Like, she made the 3-year-old feel like the most annoying, worst 3-year-old I've ever heard. She does all the character voices very well. She did. There were 3 narrators for Ron Malfi's Senseless earlier this year, and she did one of those, and also brilliant in that. So I'm looking for more Jen Lee narrated audiobooks.
Yeah, I've never listened to audiobooks. You know,
well, let's just take a quick look at the cover here. The Cut.
Yeah.
Creepy tale,
Having
guaranteed.
fun. You know, you got the Aaron Adams blurb.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It's a neat cover. I like that.
Yeah. I guess I'm realizing between my two, like, this book just had fun picks this year that I was looking for escapism in 2025. Who knows why? But
Well, I think that's a really interesting point, because I've had a hard time with reading some horror books this year, because I just didn't want to go there. But I do almost everything on audiobooks, although I frequently buy the hardcover as well, just to support the printing industry. But I consumed over 100 audiobooks this past year.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Then people put up all their lists. It's like, don't ask me what any of them were.
You listen to them while you drive? I mean, I don't have time to listen to audiobooks because
I do whenever I'm doing something else, you know, but I drive a lot because I'm in New Jersey, so not in the city.
Yeah.
When I'm cooking, I'm big on audiobooks while I'm cooking. And then, you know, you find other tasks to do. Like, might as well do more dishes, you know.
Yeah.
Carol, how do you listen to them with all the horns and the swearing happening on the
I try to restrict my swearing when I'm listening. So, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Well, I think Carol and I each have a quick pick we're going to share. And then before we talk about what everyone has coming up next, there's one work I just want to get everyone's take on. But why don't we, Carol, if you want to jump in with your pick for the year?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to go with Coffin Moon by Keith Rawson. And I really enjoyed this one. It's set in the mid-'70s in Portland. There's a returning Vietnam vet who's having trouble staying sober. He's working as a bartender. He's trying to make up with his wife. They've inherited a new child. The niece has come to live with them. She's like 13. And he runs across a guy in a bar who happens to sleep under the dirt at night and has a bunch of extra powers, and they get all peeved at each other, and you know, bad things happen from there. And then he has and the niece go after the vampire, and that happens pretty early on in the book, so I'm not giving anything away. But I actually went and I introduced myself to Keith at World Fantasy Con, and I said, I have to tell you, I don't like vampires. I don't like vampire stories, but I love this book. You know, and one of the reasons is, you know, the vampire is not a suave, debonair, I'm going to seduce you, I'm going to, you know, run the world, I can turn into a bat, you know. They were kind of like grotty little, you know, blood-sucking bugs, and they were hunted down like the, you know, the nasty creatures that they are based on what they do. And I thought that was cool, and it showed the dedication of this guy and his niece, and they just changed their lives to do this. So I really enjoyed it.
He dared to give his villain a love story, and there's this like beautiful line balanced where this guy's obviously insane and disgusting in everything he does, but he also has this love story that also makes you kind of feel for him.
Yes.
And then he ruins it. But yeah, Varley's one of the great characters of this year.
Yeah. I just totally enjoyed it. Yeah.
Really cool, evocative cover.
Yeah. We're talking about a road trip. Yeah.
On my pile, it's my TBR pile.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I just started reading Fever House recently, so very, very, very much enjoying the style and pacing a lot.
It's kind of crazy how big vampires have got, but none of it's irritating me. From Rachel Harrison, So Thirsty.
I thought that was great. I loved So Thirsty.
Yeah, it's so good. And I'm like, I really thought I would never read another.
1 year. I mean, it's 24, but still, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also just want to throw out there, one of the other vampire books that I've really enjoyed is Marc Abbott's. You know, The Sinister Ascension is a completely different take to me on the vampire story, and it just turns it up on its head. So that's one of the other ones that I've enjoyed a lot. So good on you, Mark. That was cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So,
right.
Jim, do you have something?
Yeah, I'm going to throw my pick in. This is a novel that I didn't really know anything about. It was the first thing that I read by this author, and I was actually a little bit ambivalent until I learned that it involved cicadas. And I've been fascinated by cicadas since I was a little kid, and so I dove into The Brood by Rebecca Baum, which is just a really fascinating body horror, eco horror, survival horror blend. There's all these different horror elements going on in the book, and they're all balanced so incredibly well that I almost fell over when Rebecca told me it was her first horror novel. It was her second novel, but she'd never written a horror novel before, and she just did it so well. The characters are really well delineated and engaging. The pacing is really solid, and you know, the story progresses and you never quite know where it's going to go, and it goes in a lot of weird places. And kind of like a cicada molting its skin. It sort of, reveals itself as it proceeds. So I had a lot of fun with this one. I'm just going to throw the cover up here.
Oh.
The cover is deceptively pretty. The story is not that pretty. But yeah, I had a lot of fun reading that, and I hope Rebecca writes another horror novel.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
That was my pick. All right, so nobody, and I was surprised because I know a few people were thinking about it, but nobody talked about Weapons, which seemed to be the horror cinema event of the year. Well, actually, it's the second one.
Well, Sinners
was
It
even
still
bigger.
is. Sinners and Weapons are
let's-
talked about so much. I mean, at this point, if you don't know about them, that's on you. You're the problem. They're both excellent. They're both wildly different films, and they both contain multitudes. They're not just one thing. It's not just a vampire film. It's not just a kids gone missing film. There's so much great detail and care in both of those films. And God forbid if one critic comes out with the term elevated horror, I'll swing on him. But it's just nice to see so much care put into these movies, and whether or not people connected with it doesn't matter. I just love seeing work like this in the theaters, and especially on big ass screens as much as possible.
Yeah, and they were both gorgeously shot.
Yeah.
Just the cinematographers. Somebody knew the assignment, and they did exactly what they needed to do to bring out the richness of both of those films. Mm-hmm. And I know Jonathan and I, when we were talking about the movies we were going to talk about, we said, well, of course everybody's going to want to talk about these two, and rightfully so. It's just there was so many other things going on. We didn't want to miss all of those other pieces of work that came out.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And when it comes to Sinners, I mean, that's just a beautiful mix of music too. Music sound has rarely been used so well in a horror movie that's just not there to impart dread, but to infuse sexiness, fear, bloodlust, history and love. I mean, it's everything you want from music, right? It's just a beautiful use in the film. And probably the most magical moment for me watching that was a big musical centerpiece that happens. And I won't spoil it for anyone.
That was so beautifully filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the thing that really got me with Sinners is that before any of the sort of speculative fiction or supernatural elements come in, it's just so engaging. The characters, the setting, it's just so rich and so well realized that you just get hooked into that world and those people's lives. And then it just makes everything that happens later that much more interesting and shocking.
I think that cast won an award recently that just happened at the Critics Circle Awards or something, and it's deserved. Everyone picked in that film is pitch perfect to the letter. There's not a bad egg in the bunch.
I may be the only one who thinks this, but I was so distracted while I was watching Sinners by the fact that the actor plays two different roles that I just kept focusing on how did they shoot that? Well, which way was he looking? Was that a body double? And I really wish that they hadn't done that. People have told me that in college, I took a film class, now I can never watch a movie again. And I think we get that a little bit as authors as well, as authors or as editors. It's hard to look at a book without thinking about the format of it. But that got me.
I often have that problem, but with Sinners, it didn't. It to me, it just felt they were like different characters. I mean, really, to me, it worked so well.
It was tremendously well done. Yeah, it was just still in the bed. It was sitting on my shoulder saying.
But I hear what you're saying, and I can hear what Ellen's saying too. Is that the performances were so distinct. He really created two very unmistakable characters in that, and I was impressed that aside from the technical aspects of it, just the acting chops that went into creating these two very different but very similar brothers. It was really impressive.
And as you can tell by the people who have spoken about this film, the passion's there, but Sam obviously hasn't seen it because he's too busy watching Pete Davidson movies. So.
No, that's right. I was going to say, you could watch The Home twice in the space of time that it would take you to watch Sinners.
They ran out of popcorn when he was going to Sinners, so he had to change.
So it was like 20 minutes into Sinners, and he was like, I could be watching The Home. What is
I was going to say, like, tangentially, I also saw a movie this year called The Rule of Jenny Penn.
Oh,
my God, it's so good. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I also liked it.
That is high art.
I don't know, man.
That really is. John Lithgow and Stephen Ray in a film where two men kind of going insane in an elderly folks' home is not a movie I thought I would watch, not a movie I thought would be as gonzo as it is, and it's kind of a knockout.
Was it Stephen Ray or Jeffrey Rush?
It's Jeffrey Rush.
I'm sorry.
And John Lithgow. They are incredible. They're so, especially Jeffrey Rush, I think is so good in this. Lithgow is great too, but Jeffrey really shines. But I want it like. It doesn't like no scene like builds on, and by the end I was like, great, you know.
I thought that was brilliant too, and the creepiest thing about that for me is that John Lithgow used to do like children's performance, like singing and shows for kids. And after watching that movie, my new nightmare is to wake up one night and John Lithgow standing over my bed because he's scary as hell in that movie.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is pretty great when he like dances and like kicks all the other elderly people out.
Yeah.
He's just dancing by himself. It has a lot of great moments. So come here.
That was a 2024 film. So otherwise, I would have totally picked that. It's a great one.
All right, that's a good point. Yeah, because the best horror movie I saw, or other than the ones we've already spoken about, that I saw this past year was actually a late 2024 release, so I didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
Well, what was it?
It was Blackout by Larry Fessenden, written and directed by Larry Fessenden.
Oh shit, he's got a new. I didn't know that. Oh my gosh, I love
It's
it.
what,
Oh, I don't know
it's
that
what
one.
the Wolfman should have been. That awful Wolfman movie they released last February should have been Blackout.
Shots fired.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
That was also with Julia Garner, right? That Wolfman.
the Wolfman. Yeah.
And I just want to throw out one quick thing as we wrap up our thoughts here. Stephen King is one of our premier horror authors and very prolific. And there's multiple shelves of all of his books. Well, the movie The Life of Chuck, to me, was so stunning. I went to see it twice. And yeah, it's not really a horror movie, except it's really bloody weird. But it really just struck me so much that the universe could care about a character that much that it revolves around him. So if we ended on a happy note, that's one way to do it.
Well, I don't think it ended on a happy note.
No, I mean our show. Our show ends on a happy
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was going to say Life of Chuck did not
I guess
end
it
on a
depends
happy
on
note.
note.
No, the movie does not. But
No.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So I thought it was
And happy endings are few and far between in our business.
2025.
Well, I was just saying, they are, but well, this
Can
has
I
been
throw
really amazing. Oh, Mark, yeah, you've another.
Just before we walk away, welcome to Dairy.
Oh, yes.
If
Oh, it started slow, but then it really took off.
I will tell you this: that opening, whoever designed the opening and that creepy child
Right.
song,
The credit sequence.
that credit sequence, I was like, wow. It was like I missed it the first time, and then the second time I'm like, wait, the kids are getting killed in the credits, and oh wow, that is really. And then you give that really creepy song that they came up with.
The song is called "A Smile and a Ribbon" from the 1950s, and
Of
it's
course it is.
so strange. But that's a series that should have failed outright. First of all, no shots fired, but I'm not a huge fan of the It movies at all. So why it worked here is because it's back in the 50s. There's elements from the book that were missing from the movies. The children who play the whole cast are unbelievably great. They bring in the black spot element. They're bringing in all the elements that I really love. The deep stuff that I found later as an adult rereading it. that I really love. But I think those filmmakers rely way too heavy on CGI graphics. And in the series, it works a little bit better because they're doing banana things that you could never do with practical effects affordably. But Welcome to Derry's pretty cool.
And I like the Shining tie-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool when I heard that name.
Yeah,
I'm only about 3 episodes in, and I was ambivalent until several characters I did not expect to be at risk were offed, and so I was like, okay, this is doing something different, so I'll keep up with it. But yeah, I thought that was a neat tie-in also.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing all of your picks and giving us a little glimpse into your twisted psyches and what you enjoy to watch and read when you're not working and writing horror and thinking of terrible things to do to your characters. Speaking of which, what can we look out for coming up from everybody? Mark, we'll start with you. What gruesome delights do you have in store for us in 2026?
Well, I'm still working on a couple of I'm working on a sequel for Sinister Ascension.
Yes.
So that's still in the works. I will be at Lich at the end of February. I have limited edition hardcover copies of Sinister Ascension that I just got done, and it's going to be, spoiler alert, there's going to be a gift box set that's going with it. So it's not even just the book. It's an experience. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
So that's where I am right now.
Nice. Awesome.
All right, Ellen, how about you? What's
Well, I just realized I have 3 anthologies coming out this year.
Jesus Christ.
One the year's best, which we're working on for the next 3 months from 25. Lovecraft's Brood is an all reprint anthology from Tachyon coming out in July. And I just handed in All Hallows Eve, an original Halloween time anthology from Titan, and that's coming out September 8th.
There's a lot of good folks in that one.
Yeah, I just posted the content. We don't have a cover yet, but yeah, so that's good.
Very cool.
And actually, I'm working on looking. The nice thing about the best horror is that my in-house editor and I picked the artist. I mean, at least for the last several years, he's saying, "Hey, who do you want?" And we talk and we figure it out. So hopefully, if we can get the artist we want, I mean, we don't commission anything. We have to use. They don't have the money. But hopefully we can get something interesting by this artist that we both like. We'll see.
Nice.
And Ellen, I just want to say thank you for your best of anthology. And I put this in a Facebook comment. I learned so much by reading the stories that you pick for that. It really, really is a fabulous eye into the horror world from your perspective of what's great. And it's so cool. And
my taste, obviously.
No, yeah, that's fine. You've got your view, which is an amazing view, and you're so thoughtful to spend so much time putting together the recommended list and the comments and all that stuff. And I just kind of realized sitting here, I think everybody here got some sort of call out from you in this anthology this year. So
thank you, Ellen.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you, Ellen. Yes.
Yeah, really.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We'll make it worth it. I feel like I'm paying the publisher to do it. That's how much time it's considering how much money I make from it. But no, I like it.
It just takes up an entire shelf on my bookshelf.
I don't think we have a stronger champion for the short story.
Yes, true.
On Earth.
That's true.
That's why I don't read anything but short stories.
That's fine.
In your spare time, yeah.
Yeah.
A nice comment from Laura Blackwell. I love the introductions to those books too. Such a great snapshot of a year every time. And I agree with that. I love just seeing, going through and going, yep, read that. Oop, got to go get that.
And there's I missed that. Sometimes it's the time of the season where I may find things under my couch. Oh no!
Well, Jack the cat put them there. Yeah.
In fact, I'm looking for.
Or he'll pull them out for you. He'll say, "Remember this?"
I'm looking for a magazine. I know I got because I logged in it and I cannot find it. And it's one that I get things from, so I really have to find it.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck.
Yes.
I may have to ask for an e-copy if worse comes to worse, but I know it's around someplace.
Yeah.
All right, Amy, how about you? What's on the horizon for the new year?
Yes, I will also be at Lich this year, speaking on panels, and If there's a reading slot, I'll be reading. And local readings in New York City, I will be reading at the Q and Willow poetry open mic on the 23rd of January from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And on the 27th of January, I'll be reading at Book Club Bar, East Village Wordsmiths Literary Salon from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I'm, editing my latest short story collection entitled Disingenuous, putting the finishing touches on it. It actually needs a home, it needs a publisher, so hey. Anyway,
Cool.
that's what I've been up to.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
I'll be back this year to run the 11th annual Final Frame short horror film competition at StokerCon, which I'm excited about. How I'm at 11 and StokerCon's at 10, we'll never know. I think a global pandemic had something to do with it, but
It did. Captain Trips.
Like you mentioned, February is when Suffering the Other comes out from Dim Shores, and my story To Those That Have Lost Hope is in that.
Can you make sure everyone make sure that I get a copy? Is that an anthology?
It's an anthology. Yep.
Please ask the
Very
publisher.
cool.
It's actually a huge benefit anthology for transgender groups, so it's going to be great. And then I may have sold my novella August.
Oh, I love that one.
Congratulations.
All right.
So we shouldn't tell anyone?
We can't talk now.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we're not recording this or anything. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
We have a live audience. All right. Sam.
Yeah.
I actually get to do a novelization of this movie called The Home. It came out.
Now with more popcorn.
No. Can you imagine?
Tim Wagner.
My next novel comes out early 2027. It's like an escape room, rom-com, Goonies, The Shining type thriller. I have a couple shorts coming out this year, but I don't know how much I can talk about them.
That's okay.
And that's about it for now. Working on some other fun side projects and stuff. You know.
All right. Carol, what have you got cooking?
Well, I'm kind of excited to say that I have a story on Ellen's Lovecraft Brood coming up this summer. So that's very cool. And I'm just doing the wraps on a manuscript of post-apocalyptic cosmic horror and a couple other short stories that are not quite announceable yet, but I'm looking forward to 2026. Well, what about you, Jim?
I've actually got something I can share this time because I just got in the mail today my contributor copy of Kolchak Eras.
Oh,
So this is a new anthology from Monstrous Books that features stories of Karl Kolchak throughout the years from before he was really Kolchak to his later days. And I got to write Kolchak in World War II. He was stationed briefly in Rome and has an encounter with a soldier who may or may not have encountered the evil eye. So I had a lot of fun with that, and then a bunch of stuff that, as I've had to unfortunately say for the last few months in Galactic Terrors, I just can't quite share yet. But hopefully there'll be some good stuff to share in the first part of this year. So,
yeah.
Everyone, please make sure that you get your publishers to send me your work.
Yes, please.
Yes,
That's
of
an awesome
course.
idea.
of
Yeah.
course.
Definitely.
And then also coming up next month, we have another episode of Galactic Terrors on Thursday, February 12th. Jim, anything you want to say about the show?
Yeah, we're going to be featuring 3 readers. Michael Bailey, Jamal Hodge, and Linda Addison are going to be joining us. And we're going to be doing a little of a talk about dark poetry, horror poetry, in honor of Jamal and Linda's latest poetry collection, which I'm blanking on the title. I think, Carol, you have in the notes.
Oh, is that Everything Endless? Is that the one?
Yes.
Yes.
Everything- Okay, that's what I thought it was, but then I looked at that and I thought, oh wait, Carol's questioning that.
I just wasn't sure about which
remembering
book it was. Yeah. No, that's cool.
So,
I'm very excited about this.
join us here on, I think I have a banner for this, February 12th, when Galactic Terror hosts Michael Bailey, Jamal Hodge, and Linda Addison.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm visiting, Linda that day. I mean, I'm going to hang out to Tucson.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I get, what time is the show? Maybe she forgot because I arrive at 9:49 p.m.
Well,
Oh.
it'll be like
Oh, my
4,
gosh.
it'll be 6 o'clock there in her time.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, time difference, right?
Yeah.
You can just you can sign on to watch from the airport lobby, Ellen. I guess. No. Or if you get there in time, pop in the background and give us a
Why
wave.
Are you coming at 9:45 in the morning or in the evening?
No, in the evening.
Oh, okay.
It's like a really long flight. It's like, you have to change flights. There are no direct flights from New York.
Your alarms are going to be so tired. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm hoping you can. I've had a night. I'm getting over cold. Please
Oh.
But listen, I'm looking forward to the show, and Ellen, I hope it works out for you to either, watch it live from her living room, or watch it online or whatever.
Well, whatever, if I'm around.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, everybody. This has been really cool to get everybody's take on things, because none of us can read or watch everything except Ellen, who gets all the short stories. So it's really.
I watch very few horror movies, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan's got us covered there.
Yeah, right.
And Sam's got us covered on Pete Davidson movies.
And the last thing I want to say about movies, I watched the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival. They stream it, once a year, and oh my gosh, so amazing! So many great movies, and if you ask me any of them, I can't remember the names, but.
Are they short or are they all long?
There's both. There's long and shorts, and I had a great time. I just had a great time.
Cool.
I just turned out all the lights in the office and sat here like this watching. So it's good. Yeah. So that was neat. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing all your words of wisdom.
Thanks for having me.
Happy New Year to all of you and to our audience, and we hope we'll see a lot of folks back here for Galactic Terrors in 2026.
Yeah.
Ooh, thanks, everybody.
Later, y'all.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.